Hi there, we're Chris and Megan Rhea, and today we just want to do a video on some of the problems that couples run into in marriage. And our big thing is it's very easy to get stuck in roommate mode in your marriage, where you're friends, where you're living under the same roof.
Business partners, maybe, right? Yeah.
But there's no marriage, there's no romance, there's no spark. You don't feel in love with your spouse. And we believe it's possible, no matter how long you've been married, we've been married 20 years, to go from roommates to romance, to have connection and in-love feelings.
Yeah.
So we want to give you a few things that get in the way of that, though. Number one
is conflict, right? Poor conflict resolution skills and poor communication skills. Listen, y'all, you are going to have conflict in your marriage. You did not marry yourself. You married somebody who's different than you, right? And so there's going to be conflict. It's not a matter of if, but when and how you can resolve it. But let's be honest, like, conflict can cause some major wedges in your relationship. Sometimes some impasses that you literally can't get through, and maybe that one little conflict starts to eke into every other part of your life.
Because when you can't communicate properly, what you do is you offend each other.
Yeah.
You say things the wrong way, which creates hurt, pain, bitterness, animosity begins to grow, unforgiveness. That makes you lose attraction for your spouse.
You start to look at each other with like disdain almost, you know.
Tone of voices that are yelling, screaming, swearing, inappropriate attacks on each other. If you are doing this over and over in your marriage, you are not going to have romantic date nights.
Right.
You're not going to have romance in your relationship because you're not going to have good sex. I mean, because you're hurt.
And it all stems from this conflict and not knowing how to communicate properly through it.
Right.
Yeah.
The second problem that we see in marriage all the time is that people are so busy and so stressed out, and they just feel underappreciated in that relationship.
And they just feel overwhelmed on what to even do to get on top of the crazy, right? Yeah.
We don't have time to have sex. We don't have time to have a date night. We don't have time to do this. And if my spouse would do this, or if she did this, or if he did this, and all of a sudden you're busy. Your relationship's not a priority.
You feel disconnected from each other.
You're not taking time to really make this a priority because you're busy and you're stressed and you're running like crazy, and you just don't know how to get back to some kind of sane, realistic relationship. And so stress and busyness and being overwhelmed by life and unappreciated, that will just tear your relationship down from romance and connection back down to roommates, partners, and sometimes even worse.
Yes, yeah, you're just kind of going through the motions, and usually that second one leads us into the third problem. And it's like, once those tears have kind of fallen, you are just feeling disconnected and unpursued by your spouse. And you got into a relationship because you really liked this person, and initially you guys were pursuing each other. You liked to be around each other. You know, you felt this connection that nobody else had with you. And then over time, these things get in the way, and you just feel disconnected. You feel unpursued. You feel like isolated. You kind of start living separate lives almost under the same roof.
Yeah, well, there's pretty much three ways we connect, and it's spirit, soul, body. We connect spiritually, we connect emotionally, and we connect sexually. And when you have conflict, when you're too busy, all of a sudden we're not connecting emotionally.
Right.
We're not getting to each other's hearts. Yeah. We're not making those emotional deposits into that emotional bank account. We're making more deductions than deposits. And that just leads us down to our marriage just being tolerable. Or just basically, if you're lucky, being roommates. If you're unlucky, you're like you hate each other.
Yeah.
You're sick of each other. You don't even like looking at each other. You feel so unattracted to that
and
person.
you feel stuck. You're not sure what the future of your marriage looks like.
And then sex. I mean, a sexual intimacy is super important in a marriage.
Mm-hmm.
And now all of a sudden, you just are, it's so infrequent and it's boring.
Right.
And
it's
you
not
just,
on your to-do list.
you're not connecting there.
Yeah.
And then you see the flaws in the human being that you live with, and so you don't respect them spiritually. And so it all begins the downward spiral.
Yeah.
And you get stuck. Like I said, at best in roommate mode, and at worst, contemplating divorce, contemplating leaving. I mean, it gets ugly fast. Just sticking it out for the kids.
Yeah.
And that's not where you want to be.
No.
You can have better.
Yes.
The good news is you can have better.
Yes.
We've seen it. But here's the thing, you got to be intentional. You have to actually invest money sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
You have to invest time into this relationship. And most people, they just don't know where to start.
Yeah.
So they start listening to some podcast or a YouTube channel or something. That's a good start.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
here's the thing. Sometimes you got to go to that next level and really take a step further into this. And that's what Megan and I do.
Yeah.
We are relationship coaches. We have a marriage course. We have a marriage course and coaching combination program where we can help you. We will find out exactly through a personal relationship assessment, find out exactly where you are in your relationship.
Yeah.
And we will help coach you back into romance mode. We will help rebuild the trust that's been broken. We will help you get to where you want to be in your relationship. But if you ignore these issues, they're not going to go away.
No,
they're going to get worse.
Yeah, it's like any other part of life, right? If you want to get in really good shape, just studying about how to get in good shape is not going to get you there. Like you can just really want it bad, but if you never step foot on the treadmill or pick up a weight, like it's just not going to happen. But sometimes you need a coach. Sometimes you need somebody to come alongside you, give you some tips, give you some tactical, here is what you do to stop getting overwhelmed and start getting some traction in your fitness. And that's what we can do for your relationship.
And sometimes you just got to say, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Seriously.
Like, honestly,
Yeah.
enough's enough.
Enough's enough.
We've ignored this way too long. It's been way too long. And you got to get passionate about this.
Yeah.
About your marriage. Passionate about making your marriage a priority because it's the number one gift you can give your kids if you have kids.
Absolutely.
Honestly, it can affect generations and generations and generations.
Yeah.
It really can. There's legacy involved because we learn a lot from how our parents raised us. Your kids are learning from how you're raising them. They need to see a healthy relationship model. So it's not just for you.
Yeah.
It's for them.
Absolutely.
So take a step today. Visit makelovework.me. Look at some of the things that we have to offer. And I just can't say it enough. Be intentional.
Yeah.
It's not going to fix itself.
Take the next step. And let me just real quick before we sign off, who are we to even say this to you? We are people that have been where you are.
Yes.
We've been stuck. We've been in roommate mode. We were so in love when we were dating, got married, and we're like, what happened? And we learned some stuff. And we want to help you now with the information.
And we had to get intentional.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we got really intentional. Coaching, counseling, books, podcasts. We got really into it. And that's the only way we were able to figure this thing out because naturally we're selfish and we're not going to know what to do.
Yep.
So there's no shame in buying a marriage course. There's no shame in investing into counseling or coaching.
Yeah.
And we want to help you do that. So go ahead, check out Make Love Work. Hope that helps. We'll talk to you soon.
See you soon.